To mount the locks on the ends, I need to cut some dowel. You'll probably appreciate, and look, don't follow what I'm doing, but you'll appreciate why my videos aren't sponsored. Nobody would like to take on sponsoring an idiot that does the cut I'm about to do. It's dangerous. I repeat, dangerous. I'm very wary of what I'm doing. I've measured up, I need a dowel around 16 mil, so I've measured 17 mil out there. I've got this slider there. What I do is tighten the blade on my bandsaw, jigsaw actually, turn on the power, and I hold it carefully away from the blade. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only need 4, so I'll stop that. I also need, what is it? How much will I need? I need 3 plus 6, so it's 9 mil. Bugger it. Okay, look, I'm just going to measure. I'm not going to video me measuring. I only need 9 mil, but look, this is 9 mil is far too short, so I've made it 12 mil. And to be sure, hang on, I'll turn this on. Actually, I might even buy another set of these to use permanently with this jig, because I did feel much safer. A couple of times I've actually brushed my knuckle against the blade on the go through. Now I haven't got the blade going super fast. I could make it go much faster. As you'll see, that's the speed, but you can go. But yeah, I might, as I said, buy another one of these. But that's it for the dowels. Well, actually, no, I've got 2 more bigger ones. Actually, I think I need a couple of 21s. I might as well make those while I'm here. Hey, you might think that using Alexa in the workshop is a bit of a wank, but the beauty of it is on the paired clock with Alexa, it's now telling me I've got 3 more minutes left before the next alarm goes off. I don't know that one. There you go. Mention his name and it cuts in. Just goes to prove they're monitoring, they're listening to every word you say. I'm at the drill press, getting ready to buff up the small pieces. These are these are actually the locks that you attach to the side, or cami type of locks that you spin over. That was the old fashioned. This is a new one. I put this little doovie on the top of it to help swing it over. These are the little keys that with a dowel in it that get attached upside down to the maze, that these things will eventually, when your dowel's out there, lock onto like that to stop the lid from coming off. And of course there's a whole swag of little parts that need to be buffed. The way I buff them, especially these small ones, is put it into this jig here. Just hold it under the buffing wheel and then slowly move it away. I can't do it quickly, otherwise it gets flung all over the place. And by doing it that way, that one's for that, this one is for the bigger one, and that hole is for the third. That one is for actually buffing. No, actually that one isn't for that. I've got this one because this is now, rather than 3 mil or 6 mil, I've dressed some MDF down to 4 mil to give it a big enough space, to give it that extra 1 mil spacer to separate these two items. Like there's a 4 mil spacer there, or level with that, to make sure that that has that extra 1 mil clearance away from that. Otherwise at 3mm spacer, they could potentially catch against each other with that extra mil just leeway. Anyway, the whole idea is in the buffing that gets put into there. Oops, try again. So this one goes in there, and then to buff the other side, it's on there, so it's the mirror image on both. It's, look, just a laborious task that is rubbish. As I said, these are all the different types of jigs I have made up. This is, no, I don't put 9 in there, I only put 1, but this is basically the waste that I picked up when I was cutting those out, and I thought, well, why throw it out? Just mount something on the back of it and I can use that as a buffing jig. This one had to be specially made, and again I think this one here, while I initially had that there for those buttons, this one can also take the button. Alright, I'm off to buff. There's quite a few small pieces that I have to buff, and because they're small pieces I'm actually doing it on the lathe because I can control the speed on the lathe. I've also got this same type of Beal buffers on here. It's set up in unison here, in a row, and it's ideal for small parts. For big parts it's not too good because as you're buffing on here you might be picking up something from there, but for small parts it's good. This rubber matting is just put there just in case I catch something, it gets flung. There's probably a 2 or 3% chance that it gets caught in here rather than get flung across the workshop, and out of all the ones that gets flung out, it probably means that it'll catch about 2 or 3 of them, although it'll miss about a couple of hundred. Okay, to turn it on, basically, I think this is running at 1000 as opposed to 1500 on the other. Give it a bit of a charge, and of course I do love this. I should be wearing my face mask, and I might even put it on after this quick demo, but this is how I go about it. That gets put in there, done on that, on that, on that. That's done that one side. Flip it, put it on the other side, and there you have it. It's done. Now, while this jig will hold one of these, I don't do both at once, only because it turns out that usually if I do 2 at once, one is guaranteed to go flying. Because bear in mind there's a lot of wind going through, air might come in underneath, catch this, fling it across, too much stuff to crawl around on the floor. So I do those individually. And again, same flip on the other side. There's 4 each of these, and oh, there goes Alexa telling me one of my glue up dry. So that's it for this type of work, no more. Alexa, stop. I've moved over to this part. This is where I'm going to handle the small pieces. Now, 2 points of interest. It's incredible how, see this little piece here? I only need 2 of those. I make 4 of them each time. I've made 4 boxes now. So that basically means I've got at least 8 spare. Yet when one of these drops on the floor, rolls under the table somewhere, I will spend something like about half an hour searching for it. Go figure, what an idiot. But that's what I do. Now, the other thing, and this is a perfect example of why, hang on, I'll just cut myself to pieces. I've been out clipping some bushes while paint was drying. Why I don't like filming when I'm doing a glue up. I did this glue up and I glued the wrong side together. I glued the side that I've already buffed. Not that it matters presentation wise, because all I've got to do is buff this, but I was a bit concerned about whether the PVA will hold against the polished side. So I put a fairly generous amount of CA glue in there to ensure it holds, and well, only time will tell. Now I've got to sand this and buff it up. I'm going to tackle these sides, and I'm using 21mm dowels that I've rounded over the end. I've squeezed out a little bit of super glue, and I'm going to put it onto the dowel. It's thick or medium CA glue. Put it onto the dowel to and I use this, just a little piece of MDF that I use to make sure it's vertical, and I will get rid of any squeeze out, which there was, because it's a very tight fit. So I keep saying, okay, we'll do the other one as well. Now, is there enough CA left? Should be. It's funny, I spend a fortune on tools and I'm so begrudging in using CA glue. I've got so much of it, but I hate wasting the stuff. Go figure. I don't know why I'm such an idiot. Well, a lot of people will give you a lot of reasons why, or so, will confirm that I am. Not too many people really know why, other than it's my inheritance. No, I can't blame my parents for my stupidity. There you are. Now give that a few seconds to dry. Now also with regards to this, we used a small the smaller, I should say, dowels. I'll squeeze out a bit more CA because it's a bugger to apply. Look, I'll just roll it in there because I'm a thrill seeker, and bang it home and dry it off. Now I've got to be careful here because these pins, I didn't make the dowels, didn't centre the dowels I should say, so they're off centre, which means I've got to make two going that way and two going the other way. And then naturally what I've got to do is make sure I glue it on the right way. And this is where, as I said, I bug it up because unfortunately I'm only a single tasking male, and when I'm gluing up I can't talk, or when I talk my glue up suffers. Anyway, look, the other two are the same, so I'll turn the camera off. Now for the acid test, although it's more like a vinegar test because I tried it before and while I was shooting it I ran out of battery, so I have to do it again. Okay, I I've marked the polarity or the reverse polarity of the magnets so they will go in the right way. These go in like so. That magnet that was already attached is captivated by that. Then there's the other. Now, when I flip this, see, I've already buggered up the polarity because it's pushing it away. But which one is it pushing away? I'd say it's this one here. Yeah. That one fits in okay. Come on. Oops, come on. Why aren't they working? Oh, because I had it upside down, you idiot. Alright, let's try that again. Put the magnets together. There you are. This is finally. We've got that flat, which is what we want. Then when you flip it, hopefully we should have enough room, although I'm a bit skeptical here, to accept the maze and still captivate the 3mm. Have I got anything that's 3mm? No, not really. I think there should be enough. You know, this is 3mm to stop it from slipping, although I would have preferred a little bit more. What have we got? Come on. Yeah, I would have preferred another mil. Alright, version 4. But it's still better than whatever. And it does spin around. Now, while I've got you here and without going any further, with this, what you do is make sure I do it on the right side. It's opposite to the magnet side. This is where one of these spindles come in. This little unit sits on top of that. Oh look, bugger it, I might as well do it. A dollop of CA on there. Let's hit it home. A bit of CA on this thing here. And on the inside, and push it down. That should be fully seated, and hopefully I've got the shiny side up. Wipe off any CA. That should then sit on there and be able to, hopefully with that little doobie, I should be able to move it much easier. Yeah. Alright, that's further down the track, and then on top of that comes, let's see which is the shiny side, that, to cap it off, and then I'll probably, I don't know whether I'll cut off that excess dowel or just leave it there. But yeah, I've got to do that on all the others, and that's it. So off with the camera. Ready to glue on the buttons. Again, this little jig fits over, I'm looking at layer 2, which is this, and I've got to get the orientation right. That's the right button. Put on a dollop of glue. See, that should be enough. Now let's make sure I have it lined up properly. And I didn't bugger it. I don't think I can change it now. No. Look, yeah, you have to. I knew I shouldn't have bloody been videoing or talking while I'm doing this. That's okay, it fit, but it wasn't 100% line up. Bugger. Oh look, you probably wouldn't notice it, because that now sits in there. However, as I said, I could have done a better job in lining it up. Let's see if I can improve on this bloody one, dickhead. There, that goes. Well, still the same, or is it? No, that's the way it goes. So let's try again. Decent dollop of super glue. That's more vertical with the pattern. And there we have it. It's as simple as that, but at least it's now central. I'll wait for the glue to dry. Then it's going to be a case of hammering the dowels home, because if I can't actually, if I put the dowels in, I can't remove the slider to put it in the jig. Now hopefully, being the way it is, look, I'll put a bit of weight. Oh, I don't need to. That'll, I guess I'll put that on there. I don't know why I'm doing this. Yeah. Put that under there, just to balance it out. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Bugger it, no more video when I'm gluing after this. One good thing about these dog holes, at least I can pop these little plugs out, because the magnets on the back there, which has stopped me from laying it flat, can put the magnet in the dog hole and voila. So what I now have to do with this one is glue that on. There should be another one of those. Again, I'm sure I've got it here. Just a question of, that'll do. I've decided to cut these nibs off, so out comes the flush cut saw. Not that this is hard to do, I'm just being careful not to cut my fingers, because this bloody thing is razor sharp. What I will do after I've done this, I'll give that nib a quick sand, then I might take it over to the buffer and just buff it up, just to make it look pretty. And one of the things I had to do was make sure I kept moving this around so the super glue didn't glue this to it. So, okay, over to the buffer. The next step is to put the maize on top. Hang on, let's get this right. God, I hope I've got this right. Hang on, we'll prop this up here again and that up there. Once I put these dowels on and glue them on, that'll be it. There's no turning back. As I said, that's got to be actually, and again that I will do outside of viewing. So I'll turn the camera off and let's see, make sure they still move. That moves. Come on baby, don't you sook out on me. That moves. Okay, so far so good. Let's do a dodgy deal here. Put that aside for the time being.